During high school, everyone has a place where they feel most at home, whether that be a community, a club, or a sports team. For example, there are several clubs dedicated towards people who might be musically gifted, artistically gifted, or athletically gifted. These spaces provide solace and sanctuary during a time where people are learning who they are and what they want from life. The hardest part about being honest and open about your passions during a time like high school is the social stigma and fear that surrounds that honesty. More often than not, people tend to feel different or othered because of their social standing. For example, someone who is artistically talented might feel like they cannot also join a sports team because those two interests are considered opposing forces in our world. These irregularities are created in our mental image of high school and growing up and what teenage life might be like. Whether we want them to or not, they change the ways we feel about ourselves and our place in the world. Finding a passion during high school is easier than it seems. There are hundreds of opportunities geared towards adolescents, specifically dedicated towards making them feel like they fit in, such as clubs, societies, and teams, all with their own intense spirit. For example, I found a home at my theater club at my school, and this home allowed me to express myself and learn new interests and talents. Being a member of theater has not only expanded my social circle, but also offered me some of the most fond and powerful memories of my entire high school career. Balancing theater when also being in an academically rigorous program has made the entire experience more bearable for me. When I first discovered the theater club, I was a freshman and I was really scared of overcommitting myself to too many different activities in case that it would hinder my academic life. This fear stopped me from forming valuable memories in the drama club and creating lasting experiences. In sophomore year, however, my fear of missing out on a club that I really loved overcame that other anxiety that I had about falling behind academically. In theater, I was able to express my creative side without being judged. In theater, I made friends who shared my philosophies and ideas and understanding of the world. I realized what it truly meant to belong rather than just try to fit in. The club changed the way I saw myself and the rest of my peers. I found myself fighting between two worlds, doing what I loved and doing what was expected of me. I eventually decided to choose my passion and stick with theater for the sake of doing something that I really cared about. I had a hard time adjusting, but I am now used to this life I have with theater and my role in productions being an important part of my identity. As someone who is a part of an academically rigorous program, I often struggled to manage my time and also to feel like I belonged with my other peers. Because I was focusing more on theater, sometimes my grades wouldn't look as good as those of my peers, and this would make me feel invalidated or otherwise left out from a social circle that I was in. However, I realized that I felt most myself in theater, and this place made me the happiest out of anywhere else in my school, and therefore I decided to stick with my passion for that purpose. By choosing theater, I inherently lost something. The program I involved in does not have a lot of overlap between the people I study with and the people who are in theater. As I mentioned before, this led to me feeling excluded out of the culture of being studious and academically driven, and even developing some imposter syndrome about whether or not I belong in this academic program. Overall, this made me lean harder into my safe space of theater and subsequently became more left out of the academic circles that I'd gotten used to. The change was massive. My day-to-day life just wasn't the same anymore, and I had to get used to that. This led to me asking myself, was it worth it? Did all of this change and loss come as a result of choosing to do what I love? Ultimately, I came to the conclusion that yes, it was. Finding a passion for myself was so rewarding because of the change it brought me, not in spite of it. Embracing this change was still incredibly difficult for me, however, simply due to the fact that I was unable to adapt quick enough. This leads me to the thesis of my talk, that change is only bearable when you're able to accept it. Spreading myself thin between two worlds was simply not bearable for me. Losing the toxic elements of the social culture that I'd chosen to surround myself with was freeing. Constantly choosing to climb the social ladder and try to feel accepted amongst people who are always trying to one-up each other was almost impossible for me because it was competitive and emotionally and mentally draining. The workload I had, in addition to trying to keep track of everyone else's expectations of me, was exhausting. And it's clear I'm not the only one who felt this way. According to an October 2020 study conducted by the National Association of Secondary secondary school principals, only 40 to 56% of high school students reported feeling like they belonged in their school setting. While this is a majority, it's only a slight one. The experience is common across state boundaries and lifestyles, making a nation where we are often divided and don't feel at home in our school, which is the place where we spend the most of our time. Now, all of this, you might be thinking, means nothing if there is no significant solution or strategy or fix-all for these problems. And part of me wants to agree with you. Part of me wants to say that all of the stuff that I went through was a result of my own laziness or succumbing to peer pressure or maybe being in the wrong place for myself. But I know for a fact that that isn't true. I know the memories that I've made at this school, both in theater and out of it, both good and bad, have contributed to the place where I stand today, more confident in myself than ever. My old lifestyle didn't suit me because it left me feeling bored and unfulfilled. I was only able to go through the motions and live without being truly happy or content. Choosing my passion wasn't something I did consciously. It came to me because while I was in theater, I truly felt loved, cared for, and fulfilled for the first time in my life. When I came back to my old habits, I realized that my mundane routine became a little brighter. At the same time, though, I realized the person I used to be wasn't truly happy. I was able to focus on my goals and get things done, but being high achieving and having all of those social pressures on me made it clear that I couldn't keep pretending to be content in my situation. Here's my advice to you. Stick with what makes you feel the best. Finding a sense of belonging goes beyond just being comfortable. Comfort and contentment go hand in hand. And when you've discovered what brings you joy, you'll find that it's almost impossible to leave that behind. That thing will also bring you contentment. It will make you feel satisfied and more fulfilled. The best part is that there's no set path for anyone. What you choose for yourself is going to be unique and make sense for you and only you, and that's okay. In fact, that's the best way to do it. There's no formula to finding yourself. It's not a science, it's just a feeling. Thank you.